Hello and welcome to my channel. Gigi here. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Sunshiny bracelet by Crazmamaw on Instagram. If you're not following her, hop on over to Instagram and give her a follow. She's got some really cool designs there. Okay, so just a little word. I did the bracelet and lost my footage, so I'm doing this on just one loom length this time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay the border for you. Sorry for the noise. I'm going to go ahead and do yellow, I believe, and I'm using different colors to make it easier to see. So what you can do is you can lay your closure band first if you want. Excuse me. And then we're going to go from that center peg out and to the left. And this is the, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you the layout. So you have one down, up, across, and then up. So you want to lay your loom like that, and you want to make sure that all of the openings are away from you. Don't want to make the mistake of having them going the wrong way, because you will have a heck of a time looming them up. Okay, so this is where, this is where you can add beads if you want. I chose on this particular one not to add beads, but you can put them so that they go across like this, and we're going to do a diagonal all the way up. Like I said, I'm not doing beads on this one, but you certainly can. I believe on the other bracelet I chose to do the beads every other one. Okay, so you want to do that all the way up, and then we're going to go over to the other side and do the exact same thing. I'm going to go to the center, diagonal to the left, straight across, diagonal up to the left, and let me get a couple more bands here. And all the bands that I use are all Rainbow Loom bands. So we're going to mirror the other side. So we're going to go in on the diagonal up and to the right there. Diagonal to the left. Diagonal to the right. Okay, so go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go off and then I'll come back. Make sure you push your bands down also. I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish at the top. Be right back. Okay, so what I did was, once I got to the top here, I did a diagonal out, in, across, and then a diagonal to meet up here in the center. Okay? Now, if you're doing this 2 loom lengths to fit your wrist and you don't want an extender on it, I suggest you stop 4 pins, 4 pins from the top. That's what I did on the original bracelet, which I happen to have right here. Okay, so I did put beads on this one. You can see right there. And I went ahead and put the beads in the center. I'm going to go ahead and do the beads in the center. If you'll take a look, you can see where you could have put a bead right here, but I wanted them further apart. So that's what that one looks like. Don't know what this one's going to look like, but we're going to give it a go anyway, right? Excuse me. Okay, and again, I apologize for the noise because I did not pull my beads out. My bands out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go put a straight across. Whoops, I'm making all kinds of noise here. We're going to, right here, we're going to start your second pin up, and we're going to go just straight across. Okay, do that all the way up your loom, making sure you push those bands down. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th, between the 5th and the 6th, you're going to go up to your second pin and just straight across all the way up to the end of your loom. Okay? And I'm going to push these down. The center of this is going to get pretty band heavy, so you want to make sure you push everything down. And I will be back. Alrighty, so I left off right here. Last bands that I laid were these 2 straight across right here. And this is what my loom looks like. Okay, Next thing we're going to do is we're going to lay some diagonal bands, and we're going to do them all the way up. And looking at her design, she kind of used the same color, so I'm going to go ahead with this purple here, and we're going to start second pin bar, first pin, diagonal up to the left, I'm sorry, to the right, whoops, goodness me, get my fingers caught, and well, to the left. And I didn't pull out, again, enough bands, so I apologize for the noise. Oh my goodness. Oh, can you tell? I'm feeling a little not prepared right now. So we're going to go onto that same pin, diagonal to the right, and diagonal to the left. All right. I'm going to go over to the other side. I'm going to start on this pin right here, your sixth pin, diagonal, whoops, get it off my finger, diagonal to the left. Wow, it's warm here, and my fingers are feeling kind of fat at the moment. Diagonal to the right, diagonal up to the left, and diagonal up to the right. Okay, so you want to finish that all the way up, and I'll show you the next step. You can pause if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and push these down, and I will show you the next step. I'm going to use blue for this, and I am going to start third pin bar, and we're going to just cross over that diagonal that we made, so we end up with an X. Okay, so here, diagonal to the right, and diagonal, well, come on, diagonal up to the left. You want to do that all the way up to the end of your loom. Okay, I'm going to go over to the right side here, fifth pin bar, first pin, diagonal to the right, and diagonal to the left, and diagonal to the right. So you want to finish that all the way up. So when you are done, you'll have X's. And make sure you push all of your all of your bands down, and I will be back. Okay, so the last thing I did were these X's right here. So I did the lavender first, and then I came back up and finished with the blue. Okay, and that's your loom. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put X's in the middle. So I think I'm going to use the white. Okay, so fourth pin bar, second pin, up, diagonal to the right, and then down. Okay, and again, make sure that you push these down. You'll be sorry if you don't. Okay, and from that center pin, up to the left, and then up to the right. Okay, and that is one. You're going to go up to the next pin, do the exact same thing. So from your center pin, however way you want to lay it, up to you. When I say that, I mean if you want to go from the center down or outside towards the center, that doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to finish that X just like, well, in a minute, just like that. Okay, and then do that all the way up on each of the single pins till you reach the top, and I will be back. Okay, so the last thing I did here was I laid this X, and this is what your loom should look like. And please make sure that you push those bands down. Yeah, we really need to. Okay, so if you're going to add beads up the center, this is where you would do it. I'm going to use these beads, and I use the clear because it's really stretchy. So you can get that from Rainbow Loom. I think they're still available. It's just the clear bands. Okay, they stretch really, really well, and they're easy to get your, if your hole is a little small on your bead, it's just easy to get it up through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to put no bead, and then no bead, I believe. Okay. If you choose to skip this part, you certainly can. It does not affect the way the bracelet is put together. come on, at all. So that's up to you, totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on, and then I'm going to grab another bead. Like I said, it's really warm here right now, and my fingers feel so fat. I probably shouldn't be looming. Oh, goodness. All right, so I'm skipping every other one, and it's just straight up the middle. And like I said, if you choose to do this or not to do this, it's quite all right, because it does not affect the way you loom up the bracelet. This is just something extra. So up to you, totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, I think, because why not, right? It's okay if it takes a little longer. Let's see, I will use this bead with a little bit of yellow on it, I think. And I chose these colors because of the beads. So sometimes that's, you know, how it goes. So 1, 2, 3, there's 4 of them there. And I'm going to go ahead and just end off with just the 4. I think it'll be okay. You might want to, if you choose to do this, you might want to figure out, you know, like if your beads are just smaller. I think these are 6mm beads that I have here. So if you choose to put a smaller bead up the center, then that would be fine. So that is what that looks like. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do long diagonals up the center. I think I'm going to use my yellow for that. Trying to make it so that you can actually see how it's laid. It's going to be a long diagonal. So 3rd pin bar, 1st pin, up, make a stretch. 5th pin bar, 1st pin, up, and make a stretch. Again, pushing those bands down. So you're going to do that all the way up. So you just go up to the next available pin and put it on. Nice long stretch. I think I'll go ahead and do a couple more of those because right after this we're going to put triangles on top of this. That's why I said you want to make sure that you push those bands down. So if your bands, my bands are a little on the thick side. I use the sweets, the shiny ones, and they're a little thick. So you just want to be mindful of what you use if you choose to make this bracelet. Really pretty bracelet, I have to add. Okay, so look at this thing is, I should have gotten my, sorry about this, I should have gotten my hook so I could make those a little bit easier. All right, so, and of course I have no white out. I thought I had pulled out all the colors I was going to use. Ah! All right, so I'm going to put you on pause for a second. I do need my hook. Found it. You'll see why in just a moment. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to put our triangles. So you can do one of 2 ways. You can just make your triangle just like that, just like you would, you know, a normal triangle. I'll do that one more time, and then I'll show you the way that I do it because it's so much easier. Okay, so across these 3 pins right here. What I do is I'll go and I will lay my bands across, just like that. Push those babies down. A little bit more. Okay, and then I will take my hook and I will just grab it and bring it over. It actually helps so that your bands are less twisted. Okay, so once you get your long diagonals done and your triangles done, come back and we'll loom this little guy up. Okay, so the last thing I did after I laid the long diagonals, which you see here in the yellow, were the triangles. Okay, time to flip this little guy around and loom it up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just use a white because that's what I have. I'm going to put on the cap band right here. Okay. All right. I just did a double. A lot of times I'll do a triple, but I did a double. All right, so the first thing we want to do here, and we'll go ahead and do, this is easy. We'll take the triangle and just lift it up and over that pin. Okay, this triangle here, I'm going to take it and lift it up and over the pin in the center. I'll do that all the way up. I may as well do it. Doesn't take that long if I get my hook out of there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move those all the way up. Might not even be in frame. I apologize if I'm not. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do the last one also. I'm not sure that that really matters there, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay, make sure that these are pushed down. I'll probably do that when I come back. All right, so we're going to work on these long diagonals here. So you're going to go in through your cap band, find the top one, right there, bring it out, and bring it over and to the left. I'm going to go in, grab the next one, which should be the one that goes to the right, and you're going to bring it out and to the right. Okay, we're going to do that all the way up. So we're going to go up to the next pin here. These are going to be easier to get, okay, because that triangle is out of the way. I'm going to grab it, bring it over to the left, grab the next one, and bring it over to the right. So instead of bringing them back to each other, you're bringing them to the down to the pin below. We'll do that one more time. Grab the top one, should be the one going to the left. Get my hands out of the way. Oops, see what I did? It's not what you want to do. You want to go to the one below it. So you're not bringing it back to itself, you're bringing it to the pin below where it's hooked, just like that. Okay, so you want to do that all the way up. And I'm going to go ahead and show you, because the next thing is the beads. If you laid the beads, all you're going to do is go in, grab the band that bead is on, and hook it straight up the center. Okay, so I will do that also, and then I will be back. I'm going to wait to do that one until I get these done here. Otherwise, it's going to be in the way. All right, so I will be right back. So the last thing I did here were these diagonals that went out to the left and then out to the right, and I also did my single bands up the center that have my beads on them. Again, if you did not do those, just ignore that part. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the third pin bar. We're going to reach in through all those bands, and we're working the X's here. We're going to work the two bottom ones first and then the two top ones. And the two bottom ones go to the center. So you want to go through everything that's on there, make sure that sometimes they're hard to get. Well, just like now. Come on. Giving me a hard time. All right, let's see. Can we get it? There it is. We're going to bring it to the center. Okay, again, making sure that you push those bands down because it gets pretty tight in there. I'm going to go through this one and do the exact same thing. We're going to go in and then bring it to the center. Okay. Now we're going to go from the center out, working these bands that go across this way. And it might be a little difficult to see it, but it's the top part of your X. One, and where's the second one? Two. All right. Depending upon how you laid these, let's see, which one are you? Okay, this one is the one that goes to the right. We're going to go down and to the right. Okay. I'm going to go in, grab that last one, and it's going to go down, diagonal, and to the left. Okay. I'm going to try this one more time for you. Maybe I can get a little bit closer. Let's try that. Hold on just a second. All right. So, as you can see in here, the white under here, these are my X's. Okay, they go from this pin, down, down, up, and up. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop over here. We're going to grab this band right here. going to go through all those bands till we find that white one. Well, let's see. There we go. So, well, I guess not. Sometimes you have to maneuver to get that band, and that's actually what I'm having to do right here, because there's a band in the way there. Well, goodness, the struggles, right? So we're going to bring it to the center once you finally get it. It should be the band that's on top once you pull everything away, but you know, sometimes it's hard to get it, so you just have to be patient and hopefully not grab any other bands. No, that's not it. Well, come on. Getting caught. Oh, I think I see it. I can get my thing out of there. Ah, all right, let's try this again. There we go. I believe that's it. Okay, to the center. Okay, now we're going to go to the center, and these bands that go up this way, that make the other part of that X. Actually, I'm on the wrong pin, aren't I? Anyway, these bands that go this way, that make the other part of the X, are going to be brought down. So I'm going to go in, going to grab the X. Ooh, come on, these get pretty tight. One that's on top. Whichever one it might be, depends on, you know, how you laid the bands. That's that one. And you can tell, see how it made a little teardrop? And then the last one that's on here will go down and to the right. So you'll know if you've got the right band. You'll have a teardrop. If you don't have a teardrop, chances are you have the wrong band. All right, we're going to try this one more time, and hopefully I'm not going to struggle. So we've done this one, and we're going to go up to this one. You can see the X right there. Okay, going to go in over here. This third pin bar, going to go in and grab that white one, or in my case, the white one, and we're going to bring it back to the center. You see how that's a teardrop? That's where it goes. I'm going to go in here and grab the next one. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. You just hope you get the right band, and then that goes to the center. Okay, now we're going to work the top part of that X. Going to go in and grab the top one, which I believe is the one that goes to the right in my case. Diagonal down. You'll go in and grab the very last one off of there, and it will go diagonal and to the right. Yay! Hopefully you got that. Rewind if you have to, pause if you have to. I'm going to go off, finish mine, and I will be back. The last thing I did here was I brought these bottom X's to the center, and then the X's that were here, I went in here and brought them out. And this is what that looks like. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the third pin bar here, and we're going to take these, in my case, the purple bands that went diagonal all the way up. We're going to take those back to themselves. Easy peasy. Okay, so that's one. They're a lot easier to get on the outside because there are less pins. Less bands. And that is this one. So you want to make sure that those all go back to each other. Go back down here, grab that one, and then we're going to go over. So you want to finish that all the way up, and then we're going to go over to this side and do the exact same thing. Excuse me. I'm going to go in. It's like, I don't know, I've told you how many times, it's really warm here, and not only that, but my sinuses are acting up for some reason. So these diagonals, you want to bring them all back to each other. So we'll go through here, and grab that diagonal. Did I get it? I think so. And be careful because they're tight, and bring it back to itself. Okay, so you want to do those diagonals all the way up. Let me do one more, because that way you can pause if you have to. Oops, wrong one. There it is. And back to itself. Okay? Once we do that, so you want to do that all the way up to the end of your loom. Then we're going to go into the third pin bar here. We're going to take the one that's on top, which I believe is this diagonal right here. You're going to go in, you're going to grab it, and you're going to bring it back to itself. You're going to go into that same pin, you're going to grab the diagonal that goes up this way, and you're going to bring it back to itself. Okay. Last thing you want to do is go into that same pin and grab that cross band and bring it back to itself. Okay, let's see if I can. All right, so we did that one. Now we're going to go up to the next one. The only thing left on this one is the diagonal that goes to the left. Okay, so when you go up to the next pin, you're going to have 3 bands on there. You're going to have the diagonal that goes down to the left. Whoops, come on. Come on, baby. There we go. I'm going to bring it back to itself. The next one is the one that goes up this way. I'm going to grab that and bring it back to itself. I'm going to go in there one more time and grab that cross band and bring it back to itself. All right, so once you finish the diagonals that go all the way up to the top, you're going to come back down, and if your pin has bands in it, the third pin bar here, you're going to just bring them back to themselves. All right, so let's go over to the other side. We're going to do the same thing over here. So it will be this second pin up that has bands, and I believe this is the one right here that we're going to get the diagonal. I'm going to reach in through all of those pins, grab that diagonal, if I can. Come on. And oh, I got too many. All right. Grab that diagonal. Come on, Gigi, you can do it. And there it is. And bring it down. All right. That happens to have a cross bar on it, a cross band on it. So we're going to go in there. Whoops, let's grab the diagonal that goes up to the right first. That one. And then the next one is the one that goes across. All right. So we're going to go up to the next pin. The only band that's on here that we're going to be grabbing is the one that goes across. So if you go through everything, the last band on there should be that cross band. Okay, seems more difficult than it is. All you're going to do is whatever one's on top, you're going to bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. So the next one that's on top here, pardon my fingers, is the diagonal that goes down. And you can see when I pull it that that's the right one. The next one is the diagonal that goes up and to the right, and then you don't want to miss that cross band at the very bottom. All right, so go ahead and finish that. We're almost done with this. The last thing we have to do are your, well, we may as well go ahead and do that, I suppose, while we're here. But you want to make sure that you finish each step first before you go on to the next one. So you can always pause me, finish what you're doing, and then come back, okay? So what I'm going to do here is go into this middle pin here. I'm going to grab the one on top and bring it out. And all you're doing, same as always on the border bands, you're just bringing them back to themselves. All right, going to go all the way down to the end here, grab that bottom one and bring it back. Now, once you get here, don't get confused because they still are going back to themselves, just on a diagonal. All right, so you've got a ton of bands in here. You'll reach in, grab that last one on there and bring it back to itself. Go over to the other side and do the exact same thing. Grab that band, bring it back to itself, grab the last band on there. You'll have to go through a lot of bands on some of these, so just be patient. If you don't get it first, the first try, just keep being patient until you grab that band, the one that you want. If you want, you can take a look and see if there are any bands left hanging out. If there are, it's probably too late because your bracelet might fall apart. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this and then we'll take it off the loom. Here is the final look of my loom. I loomed everything up, including these guys right here, And the last thing I did was I took this blue that was right here and I brought it back to itself, back to this pin, okay, before I finished doing the border. All right, we're going to go ahead and take this off. I suggest you be careful, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that I did not miss any bands. All right, I did take a look, and I did not see any bands, you know, hanging out under here. It looked like everything was loomed up. So keep my fingers crossed. I'll pray for me. I have a feeling that I probably should have done my original design in this color. I like the springy colors. I don't know about you, but I do like the springy colors. I think they're very pretty. So a bracelet like this, as I was saying before, you don't want to just rip off of the loom. You want to be very careful taking it off. Let's see, we'll try the center first, and then we'll go out to the sides. I'm starting to get calluses on my hands from this hook. Okay. I probably could have just done this and then come back, but it's a shorter bracelet, so I figured it'd be all right. But you do want to be careful taking those off. And once you get everything off, you do, if you have any bands that are twisted, you want to try to untwist them, okay? Let me just, I don't know why I'm doing this. Maybe I'll speed this part up. See how there's a lot of bands on there, and it was pretty difficult getting that off. So you just want to be really careful, and especially if you're, you know, not using Rainbow Loom Bands. I mean, I think they're a really good quality. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'll take this off and I'll be back. I almost messed up. I forgot to tell you about the closure here. I have the closure band here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all these bands. I'm going to grab it and bring it up. And I'm going to just do a slip knot here. Me and the clips do not get along. Have a hard time with them. So I just do that until I decide how I'm going to close it. And let's take a look and see what we've got here. Oh, this is really cute. This is cute. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Looks all sunshiny and springy, and it is called a Sunshiny. So yeah, you want to go through and stretch your bracelet side to side. And if you have any bands that need to be straightened, you want to straighten those, which I will do off camera. But that is really cute. I like that. I like the colors. Reminds me of candy some way, huh? How about you? Let me grab the other bracelet, and you can see both of them side by side. So with the different color beads and different color bands, you can get different looks. Again, this one has beads on the side, and this one does not. So hopefully you were able to follow that. This would make a cute keychain. I don't think it would. It's cute. It's really cute. And the other one, I did 2 loom links, stopping at the 4th loom. The 4th pin from the top, and it fits perfectly on my wrist. So I could close that with any way that I wanted. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. I feel like I'm a little rusty. Excuse me. And for those of you that don't know, I was Lila's Gigi. I am still Lila's Gigi on Instagram. My nail account is now Gigi Nails in Stuff, which is the same name as my YouTube channel now. So hopefully that's not too confusing for everybody. All right. Thank you so very much for watching. As always, be kind and creative.